Hey everyone, welcome to my Falling Thunder Amazon build video. This is the final video update in regards to this build. I'll just quickly explain the concept of the build. So you use Falling Thunder as the primary skill. You use Falling Thunder first to shock the target, and then you use Siphoning Strike to get power charges. So Siphoning Strike grants power charges on a shocked target. Once you have power charges, revert back to Falling Thunder to then do more devastating damage to your targets. Gathering Storm is used to clear mobs if you don't have enough mana or power charges. I rarely use it anymore because I have enough mana all the time now to always perform Falling Thunder and Siphoning Strike. So Gathering Storm is used for AoE clearing if you don't have enough mana and power charges. Lingering Illusion is super important for this build because Lingering Illusion makes a copy of your character, and if that illusion is destroyed while dodge rolling, it grants you a power charge. So this is super useful for Citadel rushing or even map rushing in general. If you want to finish maps as fast as you can, this is probably the most important skill the character has. Ghost Dance is used. So just before I jump into Ghost Dance, this notable on the tree as well, Cat-like Agility, synergizes really well with Lingering Illusion. So 40% increased invasion rating if you dodge rolled recently. So that's super useful as well. Ghost Dance is used because we have Energy Shield on the character. So because we have a high evasion rating chest and an Energy Shield helmet with the notables Spectral Ward, which is +1 to maximum energy shield per 12 evasion rating on equipped body armor. And the other one is Subterfuge Mask, which is +2 evasion rating per 1 maximum energy shield on equipped helmet. So that should get you approximately 1000 energy shield, and probably even over. I've seen people with like builds that have been decked out with like 1500 to 2000 energy shield and 2000 life to 2500 life. My helmet is quite average in regards to energy shield, and my chest is pretty average too. You can get a 2000 immersion rating chest, and you can get helmets with upwards of 400. So Ghost Dance, when hit, consumes a Ghost Shroud to recover energy shield equal to a percentage of your evasion. Because the character has high evasion rating, that's super useful for survivability. So this character has really good defenses. Wind Dancer is used to boost evasion, and it can also knock back enemies if you're surrounded or if you're just getting targeted by enemies. So that's also a very useful survivability skill to have. If you want to be tanky and be hardcore viable, Ghost Dance, Wind Dancer, and those two, Lingering Illusion, and those two notables that I mentioned are definitely must-haves if you want to play hardcore. Herald of Thunder, pretty much just to increase AoE clearing capabilities. I still don't have a 5-link because I'm pretty poor this league. I could only afford the 5-link on Falling Thunder. So gems in general, so my Quarterstaff Strike, Basic Strike is linked with Brutality, Cullen Strike, Execute, Pursuit. Falling Thunder is linked with Primal Armament, Perpetual Charge, Ricochet, Twofold, Martial Tempo. Siphoning Strike is linked with Profusion, Cadence, Lightning Infusion. Gathering Storm is linked with Window of Opportunity, Momentum, Close Combat. Lingering Illusion is linked with Persistence. Ghost Dance with Fast Forward. Wind Dancer with Precision. Herald of Thunder with Magnified Effect, Lightning Mastery, Innovate. And then Thunderous Leap, which I haven't spoken about, It's linked with Holy Descent, Untouchable, and Shocking Leap. So I use Thunderous Leap as my mobility skill to jump over to terrain. It's also handy in pinnacle boss fights if you need to get to a location fast or dodge certain fight boss mechanics. For this fact, I got a spear that I can just equip with my stats. So I only have 52 strength. So I had to get a spear that had the maximum increased attack speed with the stats that I have. So I managed to score this one with 2.13 attacks per second, socketed with that 5% increased attack speed soul core as well. And then on my shield, I just had a high block chance, high life, maximum resistance shield. The other thing to mention as well is for weapon slot 1 and weapon slot 2, I have put weapon slot 1 into this staff, quarter staff cluster here. And then for weapon slot 2, it's purely for Thunderous Leap. So, for example, I put these movement speed nodes in, and if I could find the other ones, I put them into attack speed. So we got 3% attack speed, 3% here, and 4% increased attack speed, plus 6% if you've been hit recently. There are a few other ones. I think these are it here. Yeah. So that is purely to make Thunderous Leap as fast as possible. So to travel from A to B as fast as possible. Another alternative is that you could also put weapon slot 2 nodes into mark nodes. So, for example, if you wanted to and run a mark skill, you could put them into here. Pretty straightforward. So for your staff, you want to increase physical damage staff. That isn't pure lightning damage. So quarter staffs come in a alternative version where it has no base physical damage. You want to stay away from those quarter staffs because they don't give you enough damage output. So you're looking for a staff that has physical damage base on it with added lightning damage as a modifier with high accuracy rating. The reason why we get high accuracy rating is because on the passive tree, we have the penetrate ascendancy node, which attacks using a weapon have added physical damage equal to 25% of the accuracy rating on the weapon. So this quarterstaff has high accuracy rating. I've put the accuracy rating runes in it as well. So the greater vision rune, get as much accuracy as possible. This staff I picked up for about 35 exalted orbs. Super cheap. And I corrupted it to have 49% increased elemental damage with attacks. It's a pretty solid staff. It's not the best one you can get. You could definitely get a lot higher damage-wise. And it would probably even scale just as good. Just getting a staff that doesn't have accuracy rating, but like 700 plus physical DPS on it as well. I haven't really tested that yet, but my Falling Thunder DPS, tooltip DPS at the moment is 53,000. I would say that you could probably get it up to about 70,000. Probably even a little higher, depending if you were to run a +3 amulet as well. But you will start running into mana issues, etc., which I'll start to talk about soon. So, quarterstaff, helmet, energy shield, as already discussed, life, resistances, chest high evasion rating. You want to get spirit on either your chest or your amulet because you want to get that spirit to run 4 buffs on your character. I would highly recommend getting an amulet that doesn't have +3 skills on it, mainly because it consumes too much mana. So if you could focus getting on an amulet that has really good defense stats, like resistance as life, maximum energy shield, evasion rating. Definitely go for that type of amulet. I've instilled this amulet with the notable In Your Face, which is 40% increased melee damage with hits at close range. I got this one in particular because it was affordable. It was the cheapest of all the ones that I was looking at. There are other notables on the tree that have caught my attention, like for example, Goring, which is 40% increased physical damage at the cost of 5% reduced maximum life. There's even these nodes here, like Crushing Verdict, which is 50% increased attack damage, 5% reduced attack speed. So there are options definitely on the tree. You're not just locked in to get that one notable that I've selected. I only got it because it was affordable. Rings, you want lightning damage to attacks or physical damage to attacks, life, resistances. I would say plus 20 to dexterity and intelligence. Otherwise, you're going to start running into stat issues to wear certain gear, but also level up Herald of Thunder, etc. It's not Herald of Thunder, it was something else. Falling Thunder. So 112 in for Falling Thunder. And Siphoning Strike as well. So your gems require dexterity and intelligence to run. So getting plus 20 to dexterity and intelligence is super important. Getting gloves, lightning damage to attacks or physical damage to attacks, life, resistances, etc. Gain life per enemy killed is super useful as a survivability stat. Definitely improves the character's capabilities in regards to becoming tanky. My gloves have +2 level of all melee skills. Boosts my damage quite a bit, as you can see. And then my belt, life, mana, resistances, plus charm slot. Boots, high movement speed, life, mana, resistances. Then you got your ultimate life flask. So with increased amount recovered, increased charges and quality. And the same for ultimate mana flask. So increased amount covered, increased charges. I would say the mana flask is more important than the life flask, mainly because if you don't balance your character properly in regards to mana costs, you're running into mana issues. So until I got this flask, I was always running into mana flask issues. Never really had an issue with life flasks. My character was always surviving. When I got this flask, it was even better. But definitely try and get a good mana flask early on, because until you get that right amount of balancing in regards to the amount cost, the mana cost associated with casting your skills, you're gonna need definitely get a good mana flask. Charms, so a Thawing Charm and a Stone Charm. If I was going to run a third charm, I'd probably run Golden Charm. Now let's look at the Ascendancy tree. The passive skill tree. So I've taken these notables here. As you can tell, these are weapon slot 2 for Thunderous Leap. Cat-like agility is super important to pick up due to Lingering Illusion. This is also a really good node, movement speed, 30% increased evasion rating. For your jewels, the jewel that you want to get in particular is something like this. So increased invasion rating, increased chance to shock, increased damage with quarterstaves, and it could be increased attack speed or movement speed, etc. Probably this one's a better one here. So increased evasion rating, attack speed, chance to shock, and increased damage with quarterstaves. This notable here is super important if you want to deal more damage. So quarterstaff skills that consume power charges count as consuming an additional power charge. So that will boost your Falling Thunder damage even further. Obviously get the power charge clusters. So there's one here, and there is another one that I actually haven't gotten yet. So this one here. So there's 3 power clusters. So there's one here, there's one over here, and then the third one is over here. Endless Circuit is super useful for the build as well. So it's 25% chance on consuming a shock on an enemy to reapply it. So super useful node. I've gone over this way for pretty much energy shield, movement speed, some stats, etc., and also extra lightning damage and chance to shock. So that's the build. It's definitely hardcore viable once you get everything up and running. It's super tanky. It's really good at rushing waystones in particular. So if you want to finish a waystone really fast, this build is definitely for you. I'll just throw in a map quickly to demonstrate how fast it clears. So I'll just throw anything on it, just as a demonstration. We'll even corrupt it. So I'm going to do this waystone here, mainly because it's in my path to a citadel. I could probably even do this one, which is probably even a better demonstration. So one portal, one life, delirium boosted, max modifiers, waystone, tier 15 with a boss. So now I got power charges. I can then cast Falling Thunder. As I was saying, you can dodge roll to get power charges because of Lingering Illusion. And that's super useful if you want to rush waystones like I am now. I have the feeling that the boss is the other way. So I'll just talk about my character's defenses while I'm getting to the boss. So this character has max resistances for fire, lightning, and cold. It's got 73% chaos resistance. Super important to get high chaos resistance as well. So here's the boss here. 13,000 plus evasion rating. 83% chance to evade. Almost 2,000 life. And 1,000 energy shield. And there you go. So this map was full modifiers, delirium boosted, and it was done with ease. And you could tell that I had pretty good defenses, so character's pretty tanky. I've even soloed tier 15 bosses with a full party. The only issue was sustaining my mana. Life was fine. It was just sustaining enough mana to continuously cast Falling Thunder. So I'd usually have to resort to using a quarterstaff basic strike until I get enough mana to cast Falling Thunder and Siphoning Strike to dish out that Falling Thunder that consumes power charges. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and see you in game.